Thank you, April. I think Elizabeth is going to share her screen. She has access to some of the links we're going to use. And I'll go ahead and get us started. So, thank you everyone for coming and participating in our workshop today. As April said, we're talking about bouncing back and about building resilience after disappointments. So, how you're able to take those failures or perceived failures and turn them around for your benefit. And we're going to do a short get to know each other activity. So Elizabeth and I will participate in this as well with you, Mary. So we thought it would be fun to do two truths and a lie to kind of help us get to know each other a little bit. So how this works is when it's your turn, you will share three personal statements, and two of those will be true and one will be a lie. And the rest of us will have to guess what is the truth that you're telling and which one is a lie. Sound good? Okay. So I'll go first. So let's see. Okay, so my three statements. I have three brothers. I have a pet dog. And I lived abroad for 1 month. And you guys can unmute yourselves and say what you think it is, or you can say in the chat which one you think the lie is. So I have three brothers, I have a pet dog, and I lived abroad for 1 month. What do you think the lie is? The dog. Okay. Lived abroad for 1 month. Okay. Elizabeth I think she already knows this one. So, yeah. All right. Well, nobody got this one. So I did live abroad for 1 month. I lived in Spain. I studied abroad in undergrad, and I was actually able to do that through TRIO, through one of the programs that TRIO offered. I have a pet dog. You probably see her in the session. She's always like right next to me. Right now, she's asleep on the couch. I do not have three brothers. I just have one older sister. So that was my lie. Okay. So, Elizabeth, would you like to go?
Sure, I will go. So mine are I can play two instruments, I've never broken a bone, and I was a teacher. So I can play two instruments, I've never broken a bone, and I was a teacher.
My guess is you've never broken a bone.
That's my guess too.
Oh man, I think I made this too easy. Yeah, that was right. So yeah, I can play two instruments. I play piano and I can play ukulele a little bit. I was a teacher for a couple of years. I was a music teacher. And yeah, I have broken a bone when I was 3. I fell out of bed and broke my collarbone, which is a weird injury, but
I know
yeah.
I know all about that. It's not fun. It's
Right.
not fun at all.
Yes. So I think I made mine too easy, but good job.
Would anyone else like to take a stab at it? Two truths and a lie. If not, we can keep going to our next slide. So thank you guys for participating and guessing. You guys did really well. And I learned something new about Elizabeth.
Okay, so for this next part, we are going to look at some famous people and some of the failures that they had before they were successful. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to bring up a scenario of a hardship somebody had or a failure they had, and you can guess in the chat who you think that famous person is. So some of these stories are pretty well known, some of them not as much. If you don't know, you can just guess any famous person or any well-known person. But the first one is, this person was once cut from his high school basketball team by one of his coaches. I think this is probably one of the more popular stories, so maybe you've heard it. But you can go ahead in the chat and guess who you think it might be. Okay, so we have a couple of Michael Jordans and we have a LeBron James. So the people who said Michael Jordan are correct. So now known as a legendary basketball player who led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships and won the Most Valuable Player award 5 times. The next one is, this person was once fired from the newspaper, the Kansas City Star, because his editor felt like he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. This is another one I've heard a few times before, so maybe some people could guess it. And if not, you can just guess. So far, no correct answers.
I don't know.
Okay, it's okay. So this person is Walt Disney.
Anything. Walt Disney, wow.
Yes, so now he's recognized as a pioneer in the industry of film and animation, who founded the Walt Disney Company, Disneyland, and Walt Disney World. All right. The next one. This person was publicly fired from their first television job as an anchor for getting too emotionally invested in her stories.
Robin Roberts? She's the only person I can think of. It was a news personality.
Okay.
She's the only one that pops in my brain.
Can I give a hint?
Go for it.
Okay. So this person has been in the news recently. Is that okay?
Yeah, that kind of gave us a clue, I guess. So Oprah Winfrey, now known for having her own internationally known talk show for 25 seasons, starting her own TV network called OWN, and becoming the first Black female billionaire in the U.S. in 2003.
Wow.
All right, so here is the next situation. This person was passed over for the editor-in-chief position when working at Vogue magazine. She also failed to reach her goal of making the 1978 U.S. Olympic figure skating team. I feel like this one's a hard one. But you can take your best guess. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal that one. That one is Vera Wang. So one of the most prominent bridal fashion designers in America and a multimillionaire. So she was originally a figure skater. Okay, this person was dropped by their first record label after only 3 months.
Give another hint. So this person Let me see if, okay. So this person also was, well, this person was seen with our new president and vice president in recent months.
Okay, yeah, we got a right answer here. So it is Lady Gaga, now a Grammy-winning pop icon, well known for her image reinventions and musical versatility. And yes, she did also perform at the inauguration.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. All right. This person was considered a slow learner at one time and dropped out of school at age 15. So I'm going to give you a hint on all these. The thing that they failed at is usually the thing that they're successful for now on this. So you can kind of think of who would surprise you that they were considered a slow learner.
Beethoven?
Okay, that's a good guess.
I think bagels. Bagels. Mm-hmm.
Bagels? What in the world?
That was a good guess. I don't know if they're gonna get this one.
I don't know either. Okay. This person is Albert Einstein. So he's known in history as one of the greatest physicists of all time, best known for developing his theory of relativity and other scientific discoveries.
Wow.
All right. This person came from humble beginnings and worked multiple low-wage restaurant jobs to help keep her family afloat as a young adult after her father's passing from cancer. So it does give away in there that it is a female, and this one is also kind of a hard one because that could be a lot of people, but I'll give you a hint. It's in the political realm. Any other guesses? All right, we have a correct answer with that. AOC. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, now known as the youngest woman ever elected to Congress. All right. This person, and I think this is the last one. This person was 12 years old when the singing group she was in called Girl Time lost to a rock band on the popular talent search show Star Search. Any other guesses? Okay. Yes. So Beyonce. She's now well known as a multi-platinum award-winning recording artist who just recently earned the title of the female artist with the most ever Grammy wins. So some of those were kind of hard, but you can kind of see a trend here that a lot of times the things that people were they had challenges with or difficulties or had failures with were things that they became very well known for later on. And so I really like this Michael Jordan quote. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. So that concept of in order to succeed, you have to try and try and try and try. And a lot of times that does come with a number of failures before you finally become successful in life. Okay, so I'm going to put a link in the chat for this, but we're going to pull up a word cloud, and you can type as many answers as you want to if you have multiple, but what do you think when you hear the word resilience? So maybe just some words or phrases when you hear resilience. So I'm going to copy and paste that into the chat real quick. and you can just type it in. If it asks you for your name or anything, you can just skip that. It can be anonymous, but I'm going to type that in. So if you'll click the blue link, you can put your answers in and then come back to the Zoom meeting. So I'm going to stop the share for just a second while we do that. So you can just click on that link. And the question is, what do you think of when you hear the word resilience? Is that working okay? Everybody able to access it? So got a few coming in. So perseverance, I think that one was never giving up. Victorious, hardship, success, resolve, fighter, strong, steady, persistence, resolve. I'm not sure which one I've read now because they keep switching places. But yeah, so trying. So a lot of good words there that kind of relate to resilience. So we are going to talk a little more about what resilience is and how we can build a little bit of resilience. Okay, so I think Janae is going to start us off right here.
Yeah, so thank you guys for sharing kind of what you think of when you hear the word resilience. It is defined as the capacity to recover from difficult life events. So that involves all of those words and phrases that you guys shared in the word cloud. And it can be broken down into 6 main parts. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into those parts now. So this slide shows the 6 main domains of resilience. We'll start with vision. So vision involves having a purpose, having goals, and being congruent. And when we talk about congruence, we mean being true to yourself. So does your vision align with who you truly are? And purpose is something that we're going to touch on a little bit more during this workshop because it's very important to have a purpose and have goals so that you're able to bounce back. And then next is composure. So regulating your emotions involves being able to be calm and in control and being able to interpret those different emotions. Composure is about recognizing your emotions. Oftentimes when you face hardships, when you face failures, there's going to be negative emotions that come with that. You know, you might feel depressed, you might feel angry. So recognizing those emotions, understanding them, and being able to regulate them and keep them under control is what we mean when we're talking about composure. Reasoning kind of goes hand in hand with having a vision because you have to be able to anticipate or at least try to anticipate, you know, what's coming up in the future, what's going to happen so that you can plan for that. And that goes in line with having your vision. So when you have a vision and you have your purpose and goals, you're able to anticipate what's going to happen next, what's coming up in the future, and plan accordingly based on that vision as well. Problem solving is also very important when you're talking about resiliency because obviously you're facing difficulties, you're facing hardships. So knowing how to combat those and overcome those is very important. And resourcefulness. And this is something else that we'll touch on a little bit more in our workshop is different resources that we offer at the Student Wellness Center to help you be resilient and help you bounce back. also your health. So nutrition, sleep, and exercise, of course, we always think of those things when we think of health. That's really touching on like your physical health, but your mental health is also very important as well. And regulating your emotions is part of that, but there's so many other domains of your mental wellness. Also spiritual wellness. If you are someone who values your spiritual wellness. So your health overall in all of your domains. One of my favorite sayings I like to use is you can't pour from an empty cup. And so it's really important to think about that with your health. Make sure that you're filling up your cup by taking care of yourself in all your domains, spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, so that you're filling up your cup and you're able to be resilient. Tenacity. So this involves persistence, which I think was in the word cloud as well. So never giving up, no matter how many times you get knocked down, getting back up and fighting. Realistic optimism. I really like this. I think sometimes I struggle between being pessimistic sometimes and being like a realistic optimist. So I think the optimism is really important in this because it's, you can recognize what's going on, you can understand, you can accept things, but still not letting that get you down, and keeping some joy and hope within you to keep fighting. And then, of course, the title of our session, Bounce Back. So again, being able to get up and fight. And then lastly, collaboration is very important with resilience because sometimes you need help. I think we all need help sometimes. So having a support network that you can reach out to and talk to, having a social context. So, your support networks may be in college, they may be with your friends, they may be with your family, whoever it may be. And then managing your perceptions. And that can also kind of go along, I think, with your composure, keeping yourself regulated and things like that. So that was just a brief kind of breakdown of the different parts that go into resilience. It's not, you just say you can do it and you say you're going to bounce back and then it just happens. It's a process and there's things that go into it. And I think it's important to recognize all those parts. So now we're going to watch a video. It's a couple of minutes long, and it's just going to touch on a couple of those domains of resilience that we talked about. See if you can notice any of them in there, and then we'll come back to our presentation.
COVID.
You can write everything down if you want to. Be brave enough to write every one of your goals down. But I'm going to tell you something. Life's going to hit you in your mouth, and you got to do me a huge favor. Your why has to be greater than that knockdown. And I love it. Buster Douglas got knocked out. Nobody ever got knocked out by Mike Tyson and ever got back up. It was almost a 10 count. He was stumbling. They were 4, 3, 2, 1, and ding, 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 saved by the bell. And he goes to his corner. The whole world is like, yep, that's it. Once he comes back out, that's it. Mike's going to just hammer him. And exactly that. Mike Tyson came out like, I got him. I got this kid up against the rope. Listen to me, many of you right now, life's got you up against the rope. You can't give up. You can't give in. Listen to me, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And if life's got you backed up, I need you to do what Buster Douglas did. Buster Douglas started fighting back. And the world was shocked. Goliath has been knocked down. What happened? And they went to Buster Douglas and they asked Buster Douglas simply like, what happened? And Buster Douglas said, listen to me, it's real simple. Before my mother died, she told the whole world that I was going to beat Mike Tyson. And 2 days before the fight, my mother died. Buster Douglas had a decision to make. When his mother died, he could die with his mother, or he made a decision, I can wake up and I can live for mom. And he knocked Mike Tyson out simply because his why was greater than that punch. His why was greater than defeat. His why was greater than his trial and his tribulation. And I'm telling you, if you don't know what your why is and your why isn't strong, you're going to get knocked out every single day.
Okay. All right, so we have some tips to help build resilience, and some of these kind of go along with some of the things that Janae was talking about before on the other slide. So I'm just going to go over each one of these and give kind of a brief explanation. So the first one is finding a sense of purpose, which we already mentioned. So having that vision that you have for yourself, or just kind of keeping that why in your mind of why am I doing this? What is my ultimate goal here? So for example, you can apply this to a lot of different situations, but you could apply it to school. So if you know that you have a certain career goal and you need to graduate to do that, keeping that in mind as you're working on those papers or you're doing those tests, that can be helpful as a motivator, so that when you have setbacks or you have challenges, you're able to keep going. And that kind of goes along with number 2, setting goals for yourself. So setting those short and long-term goals so that you kind of have that sense of what you're working toward, what you're working on, so that when you experience those failures, you are still working towards that goal, because you know that that's ultimately what you're going for in the end. Reframing your thoughts around setbacks. So kind of like in the video where it said, he could die with his mother, he could keep going. When you have a setback, you can sit there and you can just let it get you down and say, I'm not going to try anymore. Or you can kind of reframe that and say, okay, this was a learning experience and I'm going to use this as motivation to keep trying. So kind of changing the way that you think about those things can be helpful as well. Practicing self-compassion. So that means that realizing that you are going to make mistakes in life and that you are going to have some setbacks, you're going to have some failures, and that's okay. And realizing that that's something that everybody experiences. So practicing that self-compassion and reminding yourself that those things are okay is very important as well. Number 5, establishing a support system. So this is very important to have people in your life that can support you, whether it's family or friends, or even it can be instructors, it can be people that work here at RCCC. Some people even find that in online communities, but having people to encourage you when you have those moments of failure, those moments where you feel like you don't want to keep going is very important. Practicing positive self-talk, that kind of goes along with the self-compassion one, but giving yourself those affirmations, reminding yourself that you are a capable person, you are a worthy person, and that you are capable of reaching your goals, even if it's not easy sometimes. So just saying those things to yourself instead of those negative things of I can't do this or it's not worth it, that can really be helpful. On the 7th one, strive to accept and anticipate change. So having that mindset of change is inevitable. There are going to be things that I don't expect come up in life sometimes. And just working to become more adaptable and more flexible, and having that mindset of, okay, when the changes come, I'm going to adapt to them and I'm going to figure out a way to make those work. Creating step-by-step plans to address obstacles. So for example, if you fail a test, creating that step-by-step plan to study and work on the next one. Or even if it's a setback, that's something that's outside of your control. Creating a step-by-step wellness plan for yourself can be something that you can do to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and working on overcoming those obstacles. Number 9, attempting to find meaning in adversity. So when you have those failures or those hard things come up, it kind of goes along with number 3, but finding meaning in adversity. So, saying, okay, this was not what I wanted to happen, but I learned something from it. Or maybe you found people in your life that were there to support you and you realize what a good support system you do have. Or you can kind of look and try to find those little things that can be helpful in adversity. And then last thing is practicing gratitude. So when those things come up that you don't want to happen, or those negative things, it can be important to think about what is going well in life and being thankful for those things and kind of focusing on the things that are positive, even though you're encountering something negative in the moment. So those are all things that can help you to get that right mindset and to kind of create those plans to build resilience, so that you have more of that ability to bounce back when you face adversity, and can keep moving forward, even though it may be hard or you may be a little bit discouraged. So we're going to go on to the next part.
Okay, so this is an activity that you can do with a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, or you can, if you just want to like type the answers on your phone, however you want to do it. But we'd like for you to choose 3 to 5 of these questions that you see on the right and answer them, and then also write down 1 or 2 motivational or encouraging messages to yourself. So kind of like how Elizabeth just mentioned in the last slide about staying positive, showing gratitude, things like that. So having some type of motivational or encouraging message to yourself that you can remember. And this will be something that you can keep and you can go back and look at when, you're feeling kind of down, when you're feeling like giving up, to remind yourself of your resilience that you do have within you and to remind yourself of your why. So I'll let you guys go ahead and start, and I'll read these questions just in case you're having trouble seeing. So number 1, who are you? Number 2, why do you get up in the morning? Number 3, what keeps you up at night? Number 4, when are you most alive? Number 5, what does being successful mean to you? Number 6, how might you apply your gifts to a pursuit that is of deep interest to you and help others? Number 7, what can you do to make a difference in one person's life today? Number 8, what is your sentence? So kind of like describing yourself in 140 characters. I guess we don't have limits on tweets anymore. Never mind. I was going to say, like, if you were to make a tweet and it had to be in 140 characters or less describing yourself. 9, if you say yes to living purposefully, what do you say no to? And then the last one, if you met an older version of yourself, what sage advice would they give you? So again, choosing 3 to 5, write them down or write them on your phone, and then 1 or 2 encouraging statements. And we'll give you guys a couple minutes, and if you like to share them, you can unmute yourself, you can put it in the chat, but please don't feel obligated to share. This can just be something private that you keep to yourself if you like. I'll kick us off. The questions that I just chose 3. I chose number 2, why do I get up in the morning? I'm working towards my career and education goals. So that's really what makes me get up in the morning. I also chose number 4, when am I most alive? And I think when I'm with my family or when I'm with children, I love working with children. I'm getting my concentration in play therapy, and I miss being with the kiddos sometimes. So yeah, I really do enjoy that. And then the last question, if I met an older version of myself, I think they would tell me to slow down and enjoy things more, enjoy the present more. And then 1 motivational statement to myself is that I'm stronger than I realize, especially in the moment of things. So that's my purpose planner. Would anyone else like to share theirs? Okay, we can go ahead to the next slide. But just remember, this is something you can keep for yourself to always look back on and give you that motivation when you're looking for it.
Janae,
And
I'm happy to share.
okay, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. It just took me a minute to unmute and get my, sorry.
Okay.
So I feel the most alive in nature, like whether it's just walking my dogs down to a wooded part of our street or my husband and I going on hikes. So I answered number 4. I just really love nature. What's one thing that I can do to make a difference in one person's life today, or what can I do to make a difference in one person's life today, is find an opportunity to be kinder and more compassionate. Like the other day, a lady in the post office jumped in front of me and, I kind of, growled at her, but I wish I had a do-over. I wish I could have been kinder and, just please, go in front of me. I have plenty of time. I wish I could have a do-over on that. But I'll get it right the next time. And then if I met the older version of myself and what they would tell me, they would say, girl, you got to be kinder to yourself. You are too hard on yourself and you set impossibly high expectations and you should be kinder to yourself. I really do think that that's what they would tell me. And I think that's a great question to make us be introspective and think about what are the things that we should be doing. So anyway, those are great questions. Thank you. And I'll mute now.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, a lot of things you said, I mean, I can relate to myself as well. Definitely being more kind to yourself. Um, just being more kind in general. And, I think you also touched on one of the domains of resilience that was about like your composure and everything there. So everything kind of ties together. So again, thank you for sharing.
Hey, I've got my 2 of mine if you want more.
Yeah, go ahead, of course.
So I also did When Are You Most Alive? I'm most alive when learning and experiencing something new, challenging, and interesting. So if you give me something that is challenging, tell me I can't do it, that's when I feel most alive. And then the other one, how was it worded? If you say yes to living purposefully, what do you say no to? I say no to intentionally diminishing others' gifts and wasting mine.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Thank you. That was deep.
I know. Sorry.
No, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to diminish, like how you said, decrease yourself or anyone else.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I think now we can go to the next slide. Again, thank you guys for sharing and participating and doing some reflection on your inner purpose. So now we have another quote, and this is, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it, by my girl, Maya. And I just love this quote because I think it really embodies, sorry, I told you guys my dog would show up, because it really embodies what I think resilience is. We can't control what goes on, and sometimes hardships do happen, but we can control how we react to them. And so refusing to be reduced by them, being tenacious, having that composure, all those things we talked about. I think she kind of sums it up with this quote.
Hey, sorry, excuse me. I see that Mary has raised her hand.
Okay.
Mary, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
Okay. So we just have one more slide that we wanted to, we actually wanted to go to our Wellness Center website, and we have our information there for you, Mary, and we'll go back to that. But we just wanted to share really quick our Student Wellness Center website so we could show you some of the resources that we have to help foster resiliency and, just help you along your journey at the college. Okay, so the link is just rccc.edu/wellness, and then you'll see the supportive services that we offer. I won't read through all of these for you, but you can see that we have a variety of services, from helping with the work-life balance. We see that is very common. Food and resource pantry, Elizabeth does a lot of work with that. Our pantry has been booming the last couple of months. We have been getting a lot of good and useful items in the pantry that have been going fast. Crisis intervention, financial challenges, conflict and confrontation resolution. So again, we kind of cover all the domains, whether it's, mental support services, whether it's, financial help, or like dealing with immediate life circumstances with the food pantry or things like that. And then we'll go down a little bit more on the page. And you can see how to get in contact with us. But again, like I said, we have both of our email addresses on the last slide. So you can email us directly, or you can call the number and ask to speak with Misty, and she'll get you in contact with us. One of our big programs that we refer students to is our student assistance program. And that gives you lots of different free services, from counseling, so with licensed professional counselors, or legal services, financial services. There's a lot of different avenues of help available through the student assistance program. And it's not just for the students, it's also for your immediate family members. So that can come in handy as well. And then of course, the last paragraph is talking about the importance of mental health. So again, we're here. And then at the bottom, you see our hours for the North and South campuses, and then some more contact information. We are also doing, we're doing both virtual and in-person sessions right now. Okay, and this is, like I said, our slide with our email addresses. So we're wellness.intern1and2@rccc.edu. And Elizabeth, did you want to add anything else?
No, yeah, thank you all for having us and allowing us to do this workshop today. Yeah, if there are ever any students who need help with stress management or time management, or really any mental, emotional needs at all, we are available at those email addresses. So students can feel free to reach out to us. And that's it for us.
Mary, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask? We've got a few more minutes.
No.
Well, I think Lisa Bovard has some incredibly good news for you, Mary.
Oh, I hope so. I need something good, because I've had pretty tough.
Not so good. Well, this will cheer you right up, Mary. So, Mary, I have here, I have my nice Penn State hat that I was going to draw names from for a $25 Amazon gift card, but it seems kind of silly to do that since you are the student that's here. So when I go to campus on Monday, I will be putting a $25 Amazon gift card in the FedEx to you.
Awesome.
Yay!
I needed something good.
There you go. And it's like I know your address from memory, so it'll go out real quick on Monday. So I will send that out to you on Monday. Yeah.
And Mary, you have 100%. You have 100% attendance rate, and we want to recognize you for that. So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Mary. And I know you've said you've gotten a lot out of these, and that is awesome. That's the purpose of them.
Sad stuff happened the past day or two.
Yep. And this has actually been a perfect one for you. And Janae and Elizabeth, is it possible to email that PowerPoint to Mary so that she has a minute to kind of look it over?
Yeah, we can do that. If you can just send us her contact information, we can send that over to her.
Yeah, or you could actually, Mary, is it easier in Word or PowerPoint?
Either way, as long as there's no images in there. Either way.
Okay.
I pray there's no images in there.
I'll get with Janae and Elizabeth. I'll get with you, and I'll work. I'll work it with you.
You know what to do. You know what to do.
You can
you
just
know how to work your magic.
And then I'll work it from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
If there's images, Lisa, you know how to work your magic.
I know. I got it, Mary.
You are so smart.
Perfect. Well, I'll get that gift card in the mail to you, Mary, or in the FedEx.
Awesome.
Janae and Elizabeth, thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. I know y'all have to jump off and you have another meeting at 11. Mary, I just wanted to remind you about the transfer panel discussion.
Yes, I was just heading to there. I was heading there in a minute.
Great. And it'll talk about next steps in your transfer plan. And I know that's something on your mind. So we don't want you to be late for that. But thank you for coming. And thank you to Janae and Elizabeth. This was an awesome presentation.
It was very good, Janae and Elizabeth.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Learned a ton.
Thank you.
Bye, Mary.
Bye.